Hello everybody, this is AK, I'm back. So today I'm playing a cruiser, right, not a battleship. This is because I have a mission that I have to complete. I have to have a certain number of main battery hits in order to complete the mission. And if you watched my video yesterday, you know that a battleship, the shells load very slowly. So to complete a mission like number of main battery hits will take me forever. So cruiser shells load more quickly, right? But the damage they deal is actually much lower, right? So lower alpha. But since I need to have number of hits as an objective, a cruiser fits the bill. So as an investor, depending on what we want to achieve as an investor, the same thing, we have to choose the right tools. Right, so if you want to get rich quick, and you want to like 10 times your money, or 20 times your money within the next 5 to 10 years, then my approach is definitely wrong. It's not probably wrong for you. Right, you have to go and find some other YouTubers or bloggers who might have that kind of formula for getting rich quick, 10 times, 20 times your money in 5 or 10 years. Right, and also because the cruisers guns, the shells, the alpha is very low. The way that we try to get more damage is to set ships on fire, like what I've done just now. Setting ships on fire, and we slowly burn them to death. So it's like investing for income, right? You get 5-6% yield per year. You're not going to 10 times your money in the next 5 or 10 years, but you do get rich over time. In this case it's damage over time, but as investors we get rich over time, and we will achieve our objective too. Like now I've destroyed the ship, right? The enemy ship. So it's good. It's going to take time, right? Get rich slow and steady. That's my way, right? So if you've been following me for a long time, you know that, right? But of course, recently I've been buying some Alibaba shares, and quite aggressively too, because I've decided that, like what a viewer told me, your passive income is so much already. Why don't you put more money to work in growth stocks? And Alibaba fits the bill, in my opinion. And of course, Alibaba's share price came down today, right? All of us know that. And like what I said in yesterday's video, if the share price should come down to 401, 402, I'll buy more, right? Of course, at 407, the rising 100 days moving average, I already bought some. And when it came down to 402, 401, I bought more. And after that, I stopped. Right, of course, the share price overshot to the downside. I think the lowest was 398. Right, we know that too. It's overshot to the downside. It happens usually when market is very volatile. So this is, I think, we call it whipsaw in technical analysis, where we see a support maybe at 401, and then the price goes down a few more cents, and then if people set their cut loss at 398 and then they get sold, and then the price goes back up, that's called whipsaw, then they lose money, right? So anyway, don't want to veer off topic. Alibaba, the share price came down, and in the news it says it's because Donald Trump is putting pressure on Apple for Apple to stop working with Alibaba, the collaboration in China to embed Alibaba's AI in Apple's phones, which are being sold in China. All right, so and that's why the share price came down. I mean, the market will always find a reason for why share price came down or why share price went up. That's what the market will do, and that's what the news, the reporters are supposed to do, right? Find something for people to read. But when you do technical analysis, right, we're only interested in where the supports are, where the resistance levels are, and what's the trend, whether there's momentum, that kind of stuff, right? So just have a plan on what you'll do if the price goes down, what we'll do if the price goes up, right? And that's what I have. I have a plan. I've executed the plan, and then of course I try to complete everything with fundamental analysis, and I've looked at the fundamentals in 2 videos after the earnings came out for 4th quarter, right? I made 2 videos about that, and if you realize, right, or if you have not watched those 2 videos yet, please go and watch them, and you know what I'm talking about. In those 2 videos, I did not factor in any contribution from this Apple collaboration, right? Apple Alibaba collaboration, right? Apple wasn't in the equation at all, right? Even without Apple, Alibaba is still growing very rapidly, right? Strong balance sheet, They have enough money to invest in cloud computing infrastructure without having to borrow any money, right? Because the free cash flow is so strong, right? And Apple's not in the picture at all. So this thing, if Apple decides to kowtow to Donald Trump and say, okay, we won't work with Alibaba in China, we won't work with any Chinese company in China, I don't know how that's going to happen. If he kowtows to Donald Trump, I think the loser here is Apple, because they'll just lose more market share in China, right? Their phones won't be able to sell as well in China, right? So for Alibaba, for me, I think it's not a big issue. I mean, it's an issue. Obviously, if this collaboration goes ahead with Apple, they're going to make more money. But, it's not something that is going to hold them back, right? It just means that they have one less force pushing them forward. That's all, right? And I think the market now is still discounting or not fully appreciating Alibaba's cloud computing business and and how AI is being adopted so rapidly in China. And this momentum is unstoppable. If you look at the US experience, the momentum is unstoppable. And in China, this momentum is going to be replicated. It's being replicated right now. Like I say, if you buy Alibaba at the current price, right, we are just paying for its e-commerce business. We are getting its cloud computing business for free. We are getting its AI business for free, right? So the market still is undervaluing Alibaba. And by the time the market wakes up to what Alibaba is truly worth, well, I'm not going to say that people are going to regret that they missed the boat, because I don't say things like that. I don't usually say things like that. But I don't want to be someone waiting at the pier, right, and regretting that I missed the boat, right? So I'm very confident about Alibaba, and if the share price were to decline further for whatever reason and to test the 100 days moving average, which is still rising, and that is the next support that I'm looking at, it's about 110 Hong Kong dollars, and I think that's about 370 something Sing dollars for the SDR. I'll probably be buying more. So after today's purchase, my investment in Alibaba forms almost 6% of my portfolio. So it's rapidly moving towards 10%. And of course, if you have been following me, you know that I'm doing this by dismantling my T-bill ladder, basically my war chest. So I might be dismantling a few more rungs, of my T-bill ladder in order to increase my position in Alibaba, right, if the price goes down, right? So that's all for this video. If AK can talk to himself, so can you. Bye-bye.